Okay, all you devils out there, happy Friday. Well, okay, I'm going to try and keep this one short and sweet. We're going to look at a couple of the alternate counts here that are going on in Bitcoin. Oh, I got a few others here, a couple from BloFins, and then a traditional trade here that I think set up nicely here for something to take through earnings. Okay, so before we get into that here, I try and keep these short and sweet, but just a little promo. Right, so this is a current promotion that we have going on with our sponsor, BloFin, right? So any of you guys looking for another exchange, or maybe you're tired of the one you're on, or you want to diversify, BloFin's got a lot of benefits. No KYC. You can trade them from anywhere, any country, right? You'll be open in 3 minutes. I mean, it's not that what they're doing is different than other crypto exchanges. They all look pretty much the same. They all have to incentivize you some way to trade there, right? So you wouldn't. I mean, if some are and some aren't, right? You're not going to trade with those that aren't. This is their little incentive here, and something that we offer to our clients here. Right? So, I mean, it's pretty nice here. Deposit $3,000 of crypto. Trade, 5 to 8 million, which is not. That sounds like a lot, right? Unless you're using leverage, right? It's really not that much. Right? Up to 1,000 in Solano, 500 in Solano. All of these are pretty reasonable here, and all you got to do is open an account and do a little trading. Nice, right? I mean, that's not insignificant giveaway, right? So we're happy with them. We're really pleased with this exchange, right? It's very easy to operate. Fees are competitive with anyone. Again, no KYC, right? They're not internal market makers, right? So they're not trading against you. It's just a lot to like here, right? So we'll continue to promote them. But all right, with that said, let me get off of that and let's get over to Bitcoin. Okay, let's start on the weekly. So we got a pretty big resistance here to get through, and the timing here is interesting. We've been talking about this for the last. Oh, did I get this to the? Yeah, I did. All right, so it's okay. Here's the election. Here's the inauguration. I don't think this is going to be a pretty time in this country. I really, I've been saying this for a long time now. I really hope I'm wrong. I truly do. Right? I'm not rooting for chaos. Right? I'm certainly not rooting for. Well, I suppose it's beyond me hiding my utter. No, stop here, right? So let's just get back to let's avoid chaos, right? If we can, I don't think we can, but okay. So on the weekly here, we've got this pretty stiff resistance here, right? That may be the most obvious technical pattern in. I mean, that's pretty much. Is there anybody who's not anticipating that breakout, which makes you a little bit cautious, right? If everybody's anticipating it, is it too obvious to be realized? Possibly. All right. I mean, that's a pretty stiff resistance, right? So it would not be surprising at all. And we'll look at some counts that could offer it, right? For us to do something down here and then get on the other side, and maybe we get through the chaos. If we do get through the chaos, right? Maybe 4's down here or here, right? I mean, again, I'm just throwing it around there right now, right? There's a couple. You could put it here. You could put it here. Maybe we have to put it here, right? So, but a couple of things to note here that I think are not. I mean, certainly I would want to pay attention here. That's the logarithmic weekly MACD now crossing, right? First time since April of this year. Ichimoku, right? We're above the cloud, right? Starting to get some traction there. I mean, it's hard not to be bullish, right? And just the macro as well. Regardless of who wins the election, right? The one thing I can say with absolute certainty is Bitcoin is likely to be higher. We use a 4-year term, right? If that's what it is. 4 years from now, where do you think Bitcoin's going to be? I would bet a lot higher than 67,000. Okay, right, and I truly am betting on that, right? I'm investing, I'm speculating on that. What's the difference between gambling and speculating? Right? This should be something you know. Well, a gambler puts his money on the table knowing the odds are against him. A speculator puts his money on the table believing the odds are with him. Right? Now, he may be wrong. Do we know anything here? Well, I think we can pretty much agree that regardless of the outcome here, currency is going to continue to be devalued, right? Should be good for Bitcoin. Okay, so that said, there's a nice look at the weekly here. Let's go to the dailies and just look at some of these very quickly here. Now this, what do I want to do first? Well, this is my primary, right? We'll look at some alternates here. I've got some of my team offering up some different options here. Now, none of us know. We don't know, right? So we look at here and say, okay, well, how can we interpret this? Well, let me take this back to a 4. This is based off of the idea that we are going to work with the double here, right? This being all wick, right? We've looked at this last couple of weeks. excuse me, that we had that we did a WXY ABC to get us finished here. And while this would be a truncation relative to actual price action here, this being just a severe rejection wick. Again, I've shown this, right? But for anyone who hasn't seen it here, perhaps, right, with a line chart here, this gets a little bit more palatable. Right? Well, feel free to disagree, right? That's what makes a market. So with that count here, we'd be coming off of this with an impulse into the 1. Right, it's a little tricky to get it done, but it's very doable. 1, 2, 3, 4 up for the 5. Right, so the correction is very obvious. 3 into the B. Oh, I think we're just shot. We went a little bit past the 50. Right, out of log scale. Okay, 1, 2. Well, that's not likely to be 3. Right, if this is 1, 2, and we're going to much higher prices, right, this is likely 1 of 3. Now, we've adjusted this count. This is often the case, right, based on the price action, right? We don't get stubbornly stuck on one count, right? We adjust, price is truth, right? That is the only truth you can count on in the market. Everything else is likely deception, right? But what price is truth, right? So when price moves, if we have to adjust or invalidate or change a count, we do. Right, you don't stay stubbornly connected to some sort of a bias or some sort of a count, right? Which is why we're going to look at a couple of different counts. You can interpret them based on what you see. So let me get in there. What am I on a 4 hour? Let's go to an hourly. So this is interesting now. So as the market's done a big turn, well, we're turning around again. So last week we considered this 1, 2, 3. I was trying to work on a triangle here, but since we came out of this in a series of 3s, I think this does make more sense here now. Again, having adjusted the count based on, see, last week we were here. Oh shit, where were we? Somewhere like this, right? So you're thinking, oh, am I going to get 5 out of that, right? Well, all we get is a series of 3s, right? So adjust the count, right? This came from one of my senseis, PK, who's a very, 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 very advanced Elliott Wave trader. I think he's level 3. He's a master, right, in the EWI program. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can do it here. A, B, C, A, B, A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C, right? So we get a 1 here. Now we get 3 down here, right? You guys all see there. It's not like I'm showing you something you don't know, but we didn't, right? So you might have been thinking 1, 2. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, but no, that's not what we get, right? So price dictates, right? We adjust accordingly. So it looks like we have a contender here for this. Oh, let's take this up a little bit higher. For a 3 into a W, 3 into an X, A, B, well, 1. Right here, see, I drew it, right? And this is what we're doing. If this is going to be a 2, where might we anticipate that? If this is A, B, what are we looking for? We're looking for 5, right? We begin and end in 5s. 1, putting on the 2 now. I think it's a force fit right now. Again, emphasis, I think it's a force fit to try and turn this into a 5. Can you do it? Well, 1, 2, right? That's not so good, right? So 3 looks like a 3. This looks like a 3. This looks like a 3. This looks like just waterfall, right? So I think if you were thinking, oh, that's 1, 2, again, anything's possible here. It just seems like lower probability that we've gone 1, 2, and we're going to do this whole thing in a series of 3s. As again, seems unlikely, but you never know, right? The price will dictate, and we will adjust accordingly. Right now, I've got a big what amount of 1? Let's go to a 15. That's a pretty big push down here, and now we retrace and recover it. It looks like a 5. So it's not unreasonable to put the 1 there and think, oh, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not, I'm not, there's no bias here. I'm not, all I'm doing is saying, well, that looks like a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, if that's a 5, what am I anticipating next? A 3, right? That's really that simple. Here you see the count here as we've looked at it here. So A, B, C, X, A, B, C, A, B, C, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? I mean, I'm just, it's not my, I'm just applying Elliott Wave. It's not my, particular genius here. I'm just applying what we teach. Simple. Well, some of you might look at this and say, well, that's not so simple, right? Again, it's almost 30 years of doing this, right? So I don't mean to suggest it's easy, but this is a very reasonable count. There's really not a lot here. Well, I mean, you've got some craziness here you have to deal with, right? You have to work around it, right? You solve the puzzle with these rules and guidelines. Can you do it? Right? First question is, do you want to do it? Right? A lot of people selling you much easier ways to approach the market. Easier. I wouldn't assume easier means better, right? Simple, right? But when someone's telling you, oh, it's easy, grab your wallet. All right, so this would be 1. We're looking for 2. I mean, anything down here. I got a big fat imbalance down here, golden zone from the low. Where does it usually go? It's not rocket science, right? Now we'll see, right? If we get here, sure looks like we're making a start on it, right? But again, this has been quickly rejected, right? So bulls looked at that and said, well, that's underpriced, and back up we go. 1 in. Well, we're going to find out. All right, so there's that one. That's 1 count, right? So impulse working on the correction. We got another one here. This is I think amongst my team here, this is one of the preferred counts. This would be the purists will appreciate this one, right? It says we're not trying to, as I showed it last time. Oh, was that a double? Maybe not. So with that, here's the 4. Oh, let me go to 4 hour here. So just a reminder, WXY into the 4. I mean, it's just, again, this is also just as valid. Just as valid, right? And you don't end up in too very off, right? The difference is if this completes here, where are you going to pull from, right? That's what would make well. Let me go back here. That's what makes the distinction. Okay, so if we're on this side, we hit the 50 at 50, call it 59 and change. On this one, if we're doing it this, whoops, wrong one. What do I want? I want this one, right? So if we're going to hit the 50 here from this low, right, the question is which low are you going to pull from? That's what I was trying to get to. Let's get this one off of here. Okay, if this is 1, 2, 3, right, a little bit of a shortfall here, right, in an ideal diag here, you'd like that 3 to get there, but okay, right, it doesn't have to be perfect. 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay, it's there, right? It's the same idea, right? Can you turn this into a 3? A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the diag to finish it, right? So 4, 5, right? So we would have a leading, contracting diag. Pardon me. We'd have a contracting diag, right? Leading diag, you would anticipate that to be expanding, but it could be either. So 3, 3, 3, 3, 1 is in. All right, so if the 1 is in, and we're going to pull from a traditional low here, I mean, price traded here, I'll very briefly, but it traded here. What are we at here? Now our 50's at 59, and it's not much lower. So either one of these, however you count these, the opportunity is waiting for something to come down here and get into, discount, right? It's probably the simplest improvement you could make in your trading, right? You could ignore all of this, just dominant to dominant. Where's the discount? Where's the premium, right? We've been talking about this for a long time, right? Something that all the ICT and SMC traders, right, really focus on, right? And that's a plus, right? There's plenty of shenanigans going on in that cult world, but I mean, it's not without some benefit, certainly, right? I wouldn't suggest otherwise. So with that, right, if we're going to premium discount, not that that's... And that's not new information, but okay, right? So we're going to come down here for something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, WX, right? If we're going to do that, it looks like you got an ABC that's gone in, X, A, B, right? What? You know the story. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, C. And we're back. Right, where they tend to go, right? Not where they're obligated to go. It's just where they tend to go. Different this time? It's common. I hear that all the time. Well, Bitcoin's different. Is it? Well, maybe we'll find out. Okay, with that, all right, I think that probably gives us 2 bullish counts. Let's go look at a more bearish count. Oh, shit, I got to find it. This was proposed on Wednesday's live stream. All right, just a reminder, we do those Wednesdays from 11:30 to 1:30 if I don't run a little bit over. There's an 8-hour. Let's go to a 12-hour. And look at this, right? So the idea here being that from our 15K low, we can go 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. Up for the 5, that's the 1. Now in log scale, which, okay, yeah, do we need to be in log scale? Well, 15 to 72, yeah, you certainly have to look at it in log scale. Note here, we just missed the high probability zone here of the wave 3. If you're doing 1, 2 and projecting up just shy, that was not uncommon for a front run on that target. But if you work it that way, 3, 4, 5, well, 2. Now we're down here at 34, right? We're talking about previously it being at 58, 59, right? And the assumption that this is a 4 and we're going higher, right? Well, we can't eliminate this. Now, where that tends to look less probable, and as he said, right, it's just an alternative to consider, right? If something crazy happens, and we're going into a high probability time for crazy. Now, if we take it out of log scale, okay, right? It doesn't look much like a 2, right? Could it? Right? Anything's possible, right? But it certainly looks much more like a 4, right? As we have impulsive action, and then we just in this great consolidation that we've been into for months. But let's keep a bear count right on hand, right? Just so if we start to really unload here for whatever reason, maybe it's short-lived, but if we do, right, you're not unprepared. Okay, well, shit, how are we working this? 1, 2. Right now we're looking to be buying in the low 30s, right? I mean, anything down here would be just an unbelievable gift, although it would freak the market out, right? But crypto market would be in a panic, right? If we did that, but just panic or opportunity of a lifetime? Well, probably both. Okay, all right. So let me get off of that. Whoops, let me get off of that, and let me move over to. I've got a couple of those to look at here. Okay, as you guys know, I'm a big fan of alt-fins. Was an early investor in these guys here. I think they've got a great future ahead of them, right? But that aside, I like to come here and look at their hot list, right? I've been doing that the last few weeks here, and many of these we've looked at here. We've got 2 new contenders here. One I like much more than the other. First one is ApeCoin, right? Very interesting. And then Trust Wallet, right? All the rest of these we've covered the last couple of weeks. So let's go over to ApeCoin. Now, this is actually a nice example here. I was glad to see this. Whoops, get off of there. It's a nice example here of combining market structure with Elliott Wave, right? You've heard me say this many times. You can't do one without the other. Well, let me rephrase that, right? You can't be trading Elliott Wave and not be trading market structure. You can be trading market structure and not factoring any Elliott. But if you're trading Elliott, you are trading market structure. I mean, Elliott and Wyckoff, right, is where all of market structure came from. I don't want to go there, but all of these concepts here that are supposedly the new concepts, they're not new. They're just repackaged, rebundled, relabeled, sold to the new traders, right? So we can take a look at this here. So let's just do it. It's just a great example. Here's the swing. Here's the retrace right into consolidation here. Break of structure. What do we assume after a break of structure? Now, what do we know? What do we assume? Retrace, right? So this high stays protected. That's the strong high. We get close, right? So, they're definitely going to break that, right? Don't assume it. Break of structure. Now, here, this is an example where people will give me what about? Well, okay, look how far we go before the retrace. But do we get the retrace? Right. I mean, this is what breakout traders cling to. Like, oh, well, there's one. Look, it broke the low and it kept going. Yeah, we're never saying that's not going to happen, right? It's going to happen. Certainly that's going to happen. But is this where you want to sell it, right? Now, you can look at that and say, well, God, that would have been a great trade. Okay, right. I mean, have at it. If you want to be a breakout trader, I would encourage you to really consider that twice, as opposed to, oh God, because every little retrace here, you're going to be, you will, right? Oh fuck, shit. Oh, okay, I got out of that one. Oh God, they're going to go, right? Because you're anticipating the retrace. They're definitely going to get it this time. Nope, right? It keeps going, right? So there's a decent trade here, and I'm on a 12-hour here. There were little opportunities here to trade the retrace. Right, there's one right there, right? Those little retraces, are decent, but that's not the trade you want. Right? Again, don't take my word for it. Just go back through the charts, right? Look at this, right? So something like this. Okay, did I get a little retrace? God, I probably got a series here. Well, that one's too far, right? So we went here, swing, golden. Okay, we keep going. All right, where did they pull from here? Here. Right, you don't know, right? So it's a little bit of a Q&A, right? Is it here? Whatever it is, right? This algo here that fired here, right, does not get to target, right? So we get what do we look for? Ideally, in a correction. If the market's going to play good Elliott ball, what do we want to see? A nice 3. Nice 3. Oh, let me tighten this up. That's what we're looking for. This would be a change of character, not a break of structure, right? That's the difference between the two, because this does not, that's not a strong high because it didn't produce a new low, right? Every pivot high has a job to do, right? It's got to break. Its job is to create a new low, right? That's why that's strong. This now weak. Right, we don't get it. We don't get the new low here. So now we have another retrace here, but it just happens to be, oh my God, if only an Elliottician were here. 3 in the retrace. Okay, so we can put this thing together. Now, it's not a clear, just simple 5. There's a little complexity to it. No question we got a 5 here. 3, 3, 5, right? So I get a running flat into a B, strong high, all the way down into the W. Right, so it's A, B, C to give me the W. Right, I don't get an impulse, so what's left? X. I get an X. All right, so we're going to go again. A triangle B, looks like. A triangle B into an impulse for the C for a Y. Okay, so I've got a complete sharp triple. Double. WXY, right? So A, B, C, W, A, B, C, X, A, B, C, Y, right? So I get a sharp double, right? Well, look, oh, pump, right? A little what do we talk about all the time? What does the market do? It moves from consolidation to expansion, consolidation to expansion, consolidation to expansion, right? It's just over and over and over again. That's all it does. That's all it can do, right? So you try and simplify that in your mind's eye. Are we consolidating or are we expanding, right? It's duh, right? Now, when you're right here, do you know that that's coming? Of course not. Of course not. But what do I see here now? I'm starting to see, oh, wait a second. We're not getting lower lows anymore. Oh, I got a swing. I got a higher low. I got a higher high, right? So on a smaller degree, I'm on a 12-hour here. Let's go to a 4 just for fun, right? On a smaller degree, I'm getting pivots are getting swept, right? I've got the sweep here. I don't get a new low here. So all of a sudden we've got SMC traders would call, we have a change in the state of delivery, right? So all of a sudden, bulls are in control, right? Now, we do not yet have a break of structure, right? Because this is the last high that gave me the break of structure, right? You can just look at it. This is the high that broke this low. So this is the high, that's the strong high that has to be broken to give us a change of character, a break of structure and a change of trend. So we can say the short-term trend here is definitely changed, right? Change of character, big impulsive move here. Can if we apply some Elliott to it, can we get out of here? Well, it looks like you have to do 3, 3, 3, rip, right? I don't even know if that's done. It's just a lunar shot. There could be another leg in it here. Oh, what am I on a 4? Let's go down to a 1. See if there's any subdivision in that. We're going to do it this way. A, B, C. Tricky up there, but what's the signature of well, bigger, stronger hands? How about I say it that way, right? Whether it's institutions, market, sweep the high, right? That's how you know you've got a good pivot, right? Well, no, maybe the wrong word, right? But that's where you would identify as, potentially a high probability location where you can look at that and go, okay, I see what happened here, right? That's the tell. And then what do we do here? We create an imbalance, right? So as we rip down here from that sweep at the high, right? That's the signature. Sweep it. Oh, who's buying up here? Only retail does that. 1, 2, right? So if you're trying to be here, we got it right here, right? Here's the it's not that hard, right? So here, we'll do it this way. Here's the imbalance, right? So from this move down here, oh God, you could do the whole thing as bearish order flow. You could do this a couple of different ways, but here's I'd go to the close. I would use from this pivot here to that close right here, right? So we have all this imbalance here, right? So they come back to it. Technical, probably. Oh, lo and behold. You see how you can combine these two concepts here, where we have smart money and Fibonacci, and now we can apply some Elliott Wave here with the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. We go now for the 5, right? That's why you can't do one without the other, right? And they blend so perfectly, right? So that's kind of become a new feature of how we approach it, and not because we needed to, because the market just demanded it, right? People wanted to see that, right? Again, it dominates in TA, so. We're just showing you how you don't have to change anything we're teaching you, right? You just factor it right in. It just blends in perfectly. All right, let's get that out of here. So this is, let's go back to that 12. So if you're looking here, what would you be thinking? Well, certainly we might envision that this would be a lot of consolidation, right? So you just look at all of this as accumulation. Here's the ramp, right? Here, this is classic Wyckoff accumulation, distribution, right? So you have all of this here with the swing down here to get everybody thinking, oh, we're going short. So another thing, just to make it easy, oh, where are we here? If I did this, right, you know what you're going to see here. If I can get that though. Oh, I'm on crypto. That's why. This my guy suggested I use crypto because I get the full history, but then there's no volume. So I would trade this on BloFin. But with that said, right, I don't even need to draw it. You know this is going to be just a big cluster of accumulation here. There'll be plenty of volume here. So if we're coming down off of this, let's get from this low to this high. Right? If we're coming down into all this, pull it up even higher. Right? You can see here. I'm just using. We've got these are now inversion fair value gaps, right? So they've been broken, right? So coming back, so you can think of it as resistance is broken, now support. That's the same idea. We're coming into this little pocket here. We're not there yet, right? So I show you this right here to put on your watch list. So it's one I would definitely be looking out for. It's a kind of a bumpy start with a big ripper in it, right? But I'd be interested down here if we come down a little bit lower. Okay, let me keep moving. The other one that made their list here that was new is Trust Wallet token. I don't see this as much of an opportunity here. I brought it up. Oh, here now I'm over on BloFin. Okay, break of structure, retrace, right? We don't get a new low here, so this would be a change of character since we've had a change of character on this side. Okay, it's a little chunky coming down here. The Elliott's not super clear here. Let me get rid of that. But we don't sweep this low. It's the same kind of thing we've seen in other markets here where we have all this wick rejection here, come down, tap it, check it. That's what they're really doing here. We're going to have a bunch of new sellers. No, quickly rejected. Look how far we come off of that. Do we come off of it impulsively? Well, you could make a case here. 1, 2. That's just a straight launch. 3. This looks like we have to do this as a WXY, or fuck, it wouldn't matter. A, B, C into the 4 because now we got a straight shot up for the 5. So we're down here waiting now. I got a very big fair value gap down here. So anything down here would be of interest, right? So you might just put an alert here on 95 cents. Coming down into that pocket down here, that would be an area of interest. I would get that on your watch list for opportunity. Now, you don't necessarily, right, have to sit down here with a limit order, right? Look for the reaction. Do I get a little reaction? Because then I've got a pivot to work with, as opposed to trying to catch the falling knife, right? You don't know when that's going to turn. Okay. Okay, I think that's it on crypto. Let's go over here. This is something I'm in, right? Not that matters, but this is just one that I've been watching, right? So this is Meta. Oh, let's back this up a little bit. I'm working off of the May lows here. Looks like 1, 2. Yeah, this is the last earnings where you had a pump, a dump, and then the trend continues. So volatility around earnings, right? Not surprising at all, but because of the way people trade it, right? So they try and get in early. You get the pump. Oh my God, it's going down. All right. So the short-term traders, right? This is a lot of short-term trading. Probably the 0 DTEs getting fucked on both sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, going up for the 5. Well, if this is the 1 and this is the 2, looking for that 3, right? Here's the high probability zone. Up here where you'd look for that 3. Can we get that high? 700. Well, earnings coming up. When do we have that? Wednesday? Next week? Looks like. First shot for that 5th. Now, my suggestion here, because this is very much anticipated to be bullish, so approach with caution. So calls are expensive. So you would want to look at this as a call spread so you can offset some of the high implied volatility because calls are being bought, right? So market makers are on the other side of that hedging. So you might buy at the money or slightly out of the money and just do maybe 10 points call spread. So maybe 580, 590, if you're, depending on the capital you want to put towards it, maybe 590, 600, 580, 600, right? So you're going to cap the upside here, but you're going to hedge a bit, right? Should you get a surprise on the earnings and the market tanks, but you've got a pretty nice looking impulse underway. And just to boot, you got this channeling here. Let me hide that just to show you, right? It should be no surprise how technically this trades, right? I talk about this a lot, right? So swing, retrace, right? So what do we have here? This is a golden corner pocket. Pardon me. That is a corner pocket, not a golden. All right, so if we pull from here to here, it's actually a little shy of the 50. But once we get this corner, right, the premise is always, as long as we get a corner that holds 80%, we get here, last little kiss to the tick. Off we go. Yeah, so it's, as I've said this for many, many years now, the highest probability trade with the least utilized technical tool. By far the least used, yet the highest probability trades. Funny, right? We make things harder on ourselves than we need to, almost always. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? It's very bullish, right? It could be 1, 2, 1, 2, but right now there's no reason to assume that. It looks like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. If we get up here, right, we're going that high. That's a big kick, right? We may not get that high. Maybe we'll do 1, 2, 7, 1, 3, 8, right? It's not uncommon. Might do that for the 3. 1, 2, 3. This would be, I should probably take that down a degree. This would be 5 of 3, 4, 5. All right, so one that's right there right now, right? Just going into earnings. Right? Now, don't overdo it, right? Just because it looks good here, right? It's just another trade, right? So don't over allocate to it. Just normal risk tolerance. Okay, last one here is, I think it's the, it's this one here. It's the S&P. Okay, so this, I just love this work. This is a new member, very skilled technician. Depeche is his handle. He posted this up in the live stream. Really good Elliottician, right? He's very skilled, so obviously he's studied and been trained in this. He's given us a potential scenario here. He's given us the 08, 09 going up here like this relentless bull here. I mean, he just does great work. I encourage all members to keep an eye on what he's posting. This is really good work. All right, so it looks to me like 3, 4, 5, 3. We put in this top here. Now, this when we do that, July. Here's the big correction here that freaked everybody out. Now, it sure does look like we're doing a diag here. And you'll note his trade here, he's already short, right? Which is, see, there's a good example. When the market's going up like this and the media is just so bullish and oh my God, it's another new high, 42, 43, 44 new highs this year. Oh my God, we're going to the moon, right? Everybody's bullish. Well, if everybody's bullish, that's too many people on the same side of the boat, right? So it's not uncommon because all of the stops get triggered and that starts to accelerate. So if indeed we've done a 4 and this is a 1 via this diag, well, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Yeah, I think he mapped it out here. So a trade that's hard to take, but those tend to be the best trades. Look at his risk reward here. That's 11 to 1. Let's get in there. Very low risk, very low risk. Now, SPX, right? Certainly you might do this with options. Looks like maybe AB has already started or 1, 2. Can't tell. But what a ballsy trade. Get in there. Swing, retrace, right? So look at the risk reward here. It's very modest, right? With an invalidation, right? If we get up here, okay, well, maybe this count has another leg to go. Just great work, right? So just to remind you, what the value of the TDU community is indeed the community. It's not just me. Oh, shit, you probably have much more interaction if you're in our Discord with my team than you will with me, right? It's not because I don't want to be. It's just I've got 2 businesses to run. My team is much more responsive. There's 5 of us in there, right? So, and then you get a very skilled member like this who's posting content. There's no shortage of ideas. Even though we don't come on here, although there's some discussion, we might start doing more of this. We don't come on here and say, buy it here, sell it here, stop there. We don't do that. The idea exchange is, there's no shortage of trade ideas within our Discord, right? And again, you can join us for free, right? Don't take my word for it. Get in there, right? Look around, ask the other members. Never take the word of anyone who's who's promoting a product like a Discord, right? Because of course I can't be objective. I think it's good. I think you'll find value, right? So don't take my word for it. Ask the other members. He's done the same thing, right? He's wicking off here election to inauguration on the idea that this is going to be unstable. How about we say it that way, right? But if this continues and we do a 3, 3, 3, now it's a lot to forecast all those threes, right? It's like trying to forecast a triangle, right? Until you've got the D, it's okay. Well, I've got something here. Something's likely has completed. Likely. We're starting the correction into the crazy town. What's the one thing the market cannot stand? Uncertainty, right? You think we're going to have some uncertainty in here? Yeah, I think so. Okay, right. So you're not too late to jump on board into something short there, but hedge yourself. Don't just go balls deep there, right? It's option spread, put spread. Puts are always more expensive in the indexes, right? They're always going to be more expensive, right? Because market tends to go up, so they buy puts for protection. So a put spread here to offset some of that high implied volatility. Got a target down here. You don't need to go for 20 points, 5, 10 points, right? Nice little single. The premise is we're going to come down here, and you can kind of see he's already mapped it out. All right, we've got bullish order flow as we come down before we go up. We come back into that. Where would that be? Let's put the whole thing back together here. We can do it. If you're coming here, right into it, right to the edge of it. I might give this a little more room right there. So you can take that up to 12 and a quarter to 1. Right? He's already in, right? He could be, he could be in and out. Probably got a nice little trade already. One to keep an eye on. Okay, I think that's all I got today. Now, next week, I'm actually going on a long overdue. It's been 2 years since I took a vacation, taking one this week. One of our kids moved to Hawaii, it's 8, 9 months ago. So it gives us an excuse to go visit him. So my wife and I are going to head to Oahu. We're going to be there for 5 days. So I will be out next week, but of course, I'll be available, if anything's going on. And my team, of course, will take over. They do a great job. So there'll be no shortage of ideas. I don't know if we're going to get, it'll probably be PK will do for the Friday video. You guys have seen his work. Very skilled. Okay, with that, just a reminder, right? You can come into our Discord here and get plenty of options. Also, the link is directly underneath the video, right? If you want to pop in there and take a look at them, right? You can open a trade. You can open an account with $100. Drop a little crypto in there. Take a look around. See if this is an exchange that might fit in with your suite of exchanges. Okay, guys. With that, have a good weekend. I'll see you when I get back.